By using tools like journaling, mindfulness, self-inquiry, and shadow work, you can begin your journey of inner work right now. What if you could get all the benefits of therapy without paying a cent or even leaving the comfort of your own home? This video will outline exactly how to do that, and it will give you the one key missing ingredient that will finally help you become unstuck and massively transform your inner healing practice. Let's get started. A great therapist can be life-changing, and I do believe everyone should experience therapy at some point in their lives if we can afford it. But if you've been going to therapy for a while, yet still find yourself repeating the same unhealthy patterns and feeling just as unhappy as you always have been, then more therapy isn't going to help. Anyone can show up to therapy and shoot the shit with a compassionate ear once a week, but at the end of the day, only you have the power to heal yourself, and you don't need anyone to tell you that. It's not the therapist who heals you, it's you who heals you. The only thing that's missing is inner work. You don't need any expensive tools or specialized knowledge to start doing self-therapy and inner work. Just a willingness to be honest with yourself and the courage to face your inner world. The reason most of us don't do this, even if we diligently show up to our therapist's office every week, is because it's incredibly scary. Self-therapy and inner work asks us to do something that has the potential to bring up tremendous grief and overwhelming emotions. It's a process that asks us to dive deep into our psyche to uncover the unconscious patterns, beliefs, and unresolved traumas that have shaped our life. We suppress these parts of ourselves because they're too painful to look at, and we're afraid that doing so will overwhelm us. However, getting past these blockages can be one of the most rejuvenating experiences we're capable of as human beings. That sense of release can feel like it's saving your life, because it actually is. But before we do anything, we need to create a safe space where we are able to safely and gently begin to tap into those hidden parts of ourselves. This is usually why therapy is useful. Therapists are trained to create a safe space. So for a lot of people, it's the first time they can finally open up and be honest with themselves. You can work on creating that space for yourself too. Writing is the main tool we will use for our inner work, but we need to ensure that we can write freely. A safe space means writing in a way where you feel like you can be totally open and vulnerable, where you can say stuff that you haven't told anyone or even allowed yourself to think about for years or decades. You can do this by hand or on a computer, but take whatever steps you have to ensure that you feel like you can say whatever you want. Delete the file after you're done, or burn the page if necessary. I put a link to the journal with the exact prompts I use every day to guide my inner work below the like button if you're committed to getting started right away. Once we have that safe space, all we have to do is write every day and write down exactly what we're feeling. Write about what you're going through, what sensations you feel in your body, or whatever else comes up. This will be difficult at first because most of us were taught to ignore or suppress our inner experience throughout our lives. There are bad emotions that we were never allowed to express or things we weren't allowed to say, so whenever those came up, we suppressed them. Whatever emotions you feel in the present moment are signposts to emotions you felt in the past. Perhaps emotions that you haven't allowed yourself to feel for many years. These feelings and sensations are your entry point into your inner experience. If we gently and consistently bring our attention back to what that emotion feels like in our bodies, we will begin to peel back the layers and to notice repressed memories or deeper emotions bubbling up all by themselves. This is our shadow, the parts of ourselves we've rejected or suppressed. We don't have to do anything with what comes up, and if at any point it feels too overwhelming, There's no need to push ourselves beyond what we're comfortable with. Come back to the present moment, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that you are safe. Those things are hidden away for a reason. We avoid looking at the stuff we've buried in our shadow because we're afraid that we won't be able to handle it. But we are a lot stronger and more resilient than we give ourselves credit for, and this process will show us that truth over and over. Simply by sitting in that space and learning to tap into the sensations in our body, we will slowly release what we've repressed in a way that won't overwhelm us, while showing us that we are able to handle our inner experience. Sometimes you will notice that it feels like someone is peeking over your shoulder while you're writing, your body is activated, and you feel like you're about to be caught. This is normal and means you're on the right track. This means that we're noticing aspects of our psyche that were shaped by others and by our past experiences and are getting closer and closer to the core of who we really are. The most you can ask of yourself in those moments is for a split second of awareness, where we can notice what those emotions or thoughts are telling us and remind ourselves that this is a safe space and that whatever comes up is perfectly okay. We will also notice emotional wounds coming up from times we've hurt others and mistakes we've made. A key part of inner work involves forgiving yourself, realizing that you did those things because you were in pain and that if you had known better, you would have acted differently. The key is nonjudgmental observation of whatever comes up. Make sure to practice self-compassion and self-care throughout this process. Highlight small wins and show gratitude to yourself for showing up to the best of your ability and for trying your best. Remember that most people live their entire lives without doing this work at all. Most people live in a state of numbness and dissociation and living a life that was forced upon them instead of a life that their deepest self wants. This is what's normal in our society. In order to step out of this existence, all you have to do is be honest with your inner experience and allow whatever arises to be, for as long as you're comfortably able to. You don't even have to do anything about it, just observe it. Approach what arises with curiosity instead of judgment and allow yourself to progress at your own pace. This process of inner work or self-therapy is not about fixing yourself, but about learning to accept and embrace all parts of who you are. It's about shedding the parts you've absorbed from others and getting to the core of who you really are. A therapist can help you create the necessary safe space for healing and growth, and might be particularly helpful if you get stuck or overwhelmed. But as we've outlined in this video, you can also create that safe space by yourself. By using tools like journaling, mindfulness, self-inquiry, and shadow work, you can begin your journey of inner work right now. There will be ups and downs along the way, but every step you take brings you closer to greater self-awareness and well-being. Inner work is a journey toward becoming the most whole, conscious, and fulfilled version of yourself. All we have to do is show up. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And make sure to check the description for more resources. Until next time, safe travels.